Boom. Okay, that is posted. I missed all the curling today too.
Rip.
Yeah, I know. This is one of those days.
Just one of those days. Did
Crazy.
you not want to wake up? Everything was fudged and everybody sucked.
uh, Kinda.
Fair.
No, today was a good day. Today was a good day. Anyway,
Let's go.
okie dokie. Hello and welcome to the Warrior House podcast, where Warrior Pride lives. I'm your host, Ryan Reingart, joined by my co-host, Mike Sangster. Thanks for joining us on episode 121 of the Warrior House podcast. Basically, the spring kind of feels like
A little bit, a little dark, but
a little
definitely got
dark, a
the
little
rain out
foggy.
today.
Yeah, so not quite, not quite. Well, yeah, who knows? I mean, it kind of is a little bit of a spring feel, but it is
Yeah.
nice. Weather's warming up a little bit. Definitely feels like we're going to be talking about baseball and softball a bit. All things just kind of feel like, yeah, we're getting kind of towards the end, which is always a nice thing. But Sangster, we've had some just a little bit of news over the last week. I know you had a big chance to meet somebody for the first time over the weekend.
Yep. In case anybody didn't listen to last episode of the Warrior House podcast or just doesn't check Wayne State things in general, uh, saw that Coach Tyrone Wheatley resigned from his head coaching job, and Wayne State brought in the guy that was supposed to be the offensive coordinator in the 2026 season. Now is the head coach for Wayne State, Mr. Terrence Isaac. I did get a chance to briefly shake hands with him at the basketball game on Saturday, and also he has a long form interview on the official Wayne State podcast. Now he also had a shorter interview at the halftime of the men's game. You can go listen to that on Wayne State's channel. Uh, but just everything I gathered from him, both talking to him and listening to the interviews, and Brady and oh gosh, not Sean, Kevin Breckmacher
Kevin.
talked about this too. Uh, and I agree 10 out of 10. We don't know what the X's and O's of this team are going to be like, but what I don't have a doubt of is that he is excited to be here and he already cares deeply about the guys that are on the team right now. Everything we've heard sounds like he's big on player development, not only on the field, but checking in schoolwork, religious life if players are into that. So a guy that no doubt I think is going to care a lot about these guys.
Yeah, I had a chance to listen to Warriors Weekly. I think I got through the first half of the interview with Coach Isaac.
Yep.
And there are a couple things that really stuck out to me. One, he was actually supposed to be the offensive coordinator last season. He was intended to come into Wayne State to be the offensive coordinator, then didn't just quite work out. Turned out he was going to come in anyway. And then, as you mentioned, Sangster, just enough things have changed where his position is completely different now. So that definitely stuck out to me that like he was supposed to be here before and he's here now. So I'm glad we get him there. But the big thing you mentioned, religion being a big thing for him, just having that religious aspect, whatever your religion is, as he kind of stated.
Yep.
No swearing at practice. That one to me, he said, he implements that you will not hear swearing from the coaches, you will not hear swearing from the players. That's his expectation.
Mhm.
And he even acknowledges, like, yeah, it's not a normal thing. There's going to be slip ups. But like, to me, that's kind of interesting. And one thing that I really liked is, one of the things he said in that interview was, I can get my point across to you without swearing. Like, I don't need to do that. We can talk to each other like adults because
Yeah.
you're going to get into the professional environment, so on and so forth. And you're not just going to be able to get to say anything and everything you want. You got to tidy it up a little bit and have a little bit of professionalism. That to me was very impressive. Such a small thing that some coaches be like, yeah, whatever, let him swear, blood's boiling, whatever. It's like, nope, we're not going to do that. So I don't know. I really appreciated that. I think that to me alone speaks kind of volumes and just says to me the type of program that he's going to want to lead is a very, very respectful program, one that you'd be happy with your kid going to, knowing that they're being led by people of strong character.
Yeah, and even beyond stuff like that, but also just going into checking up on classwork, checking up just like what are guys doing at 10 a.m. on any particular given night. It is college. We've been there. Things tend to happen after 10 o'clock, but just somebody to be out there, look out for these guys. Yeah, there are a lot of guys that come to Wayne State from around Detroit, around Michigan. There's some guys that are coming from pretty far away. This might be their first time out of the state, certainly hundreds of miles away. So to have a guy like that out there that is just going to care about these guys and make it a first and foremost part of the program, I don't think that's something we've heard uh, in a while.
Yep, 100%. So, really cool stuff there. Very excited to see as we get closer to the spring game. We've heard rumblings about when that's going to be. I don't think anything official has gotten announced yet. So, we'll keep our eye out for that word getting posted. I know things are very much in flux with the team right now as they're trying to get staff and all that organized. Another cool thing, Sangster, I see you got a note in here, and I actually did see this as well. Doug Steinert, who is the very first Wayne State women's soccer coach, ended up having a long form podcast view on We Are Soccer. I did see that one. I didn't end up listening to that one, but it's very cool that he's starting to get around a little bit and advertise something that he's trying to build here at Wayne State.
Yeah, it's really weird to think that in fall of 26 this year that they're going to be playing soccer as a varsity sport at Wayne State. It just really hasn't hit for me yet that that's going to be a thing now.
Yeah. So, it'll be really cool to see some of these things about the soccer field actually continue to get built out a little bit, make
Yep.
it feel like it's more than just, when we were in college and it was a grass field. I know it's turf right now, but like it was still just a field behind Tom Adams that had some fence around it. And that's where the marching
And
band practice and all that. So like now to see like that is changing a little bit and we're going to continue to grow and make it feel more like, hey, athletics actually happens on this, uh, place where I used to horribly play the trumpet sometimes, but that's kind of cool to see that.
oh yeah. So looking back on this week of stuff, sports in Wayne State athletics, we'll start out with some women's basketball. On Thursday, they were at home against number 12, Northern Michigan. Wayne State just coming off of a huge ranked win against Grand Valley, and guess what? They have to follow it up with two more ranked teams, or just one. I'm sorry. Uh, Number 12 Northern Michigan. Wayne State ends up winning this one, 84-63. Uh, Taylor Thompson had herself a game. She had 26 points, 9 rebounds. Uh, Wayne State was up so big in the fourth quarter. They pulled Taylor Thompson out with like 8 minutes to go. She certainly could have had an arbitrary double double in that game had she stayed out. But again, Wayne State had this one pretty much in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, 26 points for her in this one, nine
Yep.
rebounds, four steals. I mean, like you're just loading up and by the way, 2 assists as well. So like just a very, very impressive game for her. And she's been just outstanding for this team. A huge part of you take down a top 25 team like that. I don't care where you're playing. It takes quite the team effort to do that, but it's certainly when you can have a player like that go out and have that kind of day, that's some really good stuff. McKenna Ferguson, Gabby Luchka, and Mackenzie Miller also got double digits in this one. And even though we were very cold from behind the arc in this one at what were we 6 for I'm sorry, two for 14, even worse. Just a really, but we still had a basically 21-point win. I mean, that is impressive.
Yeah, and even following that up with not the best performance behind the free throw line either, 20 for 30. And granted, you made 20 when you got to the line so much. So certainly that helped this team out on this one. You probably would have liked to make a few more kind of towards the end of the game. But again, this game was pretty much well in hand uh, by the end.
Yeah, and then only 10 turnovers for Wayne State in this one. So a lot of things went really well. Cold day from behind the arc didn't do us in. So good win there. Then on Saturday, Michigan Tech was in town. Wayne State ends up winning this one by a score of 68-67. Big time opportunity here. Basically for them to be able to continue to solidify themselves as a top three team. I think this game was huge in that aspect, and they were able to do it. Not really much. It's just a balanced scoring attack, clean game. We did get out rebounded, which kind of think it was the main issue. Had we lost this game, that would have been the main issue. And I think the main thing I would have pointed to say like that is why, because Michigan Tech just rebounded extremely well in this one. But again, luckily it didn't do us in. We were able to get a very important win against a team that we're trying to keep plenty of distance above, and we were able to do that.
Yeah, kind of a down year for Michigan Tech's women's team in this one, but they certainly didn't play like it here. Uh, Wayne State, for their part, 43% overall field goal shooting, 11 13 behind the free throw line. Pretty good stuff there. If there's any one big difference for Michigan Tech, it's that they shot about 50% overall, 29 for 59. So that's really what was keeping Michigan Tech in the game here.
Yeah, so fantastic weekend. I mean, that's 2 weekends in a row now that Wayne State was able to uh, sweep. So they got quite the winning streak going right now, and I'll say they continue to say that show me that they're the team of the winter, just the one that we're going to be watching for a while as we get closer to postseason action. But we're not quite there yet. Still a little bit of action for them, but really good stuff from our women's basketball team.
Yeah, and kind of the last point here, last play of the game, uh, Michigan Tech had either got it poked out of bounds or threw it out of bounds, something like that. But basically, Michigan Tech could have inbounded the ball with like 3 to 5 seconds left on the clock on their end of the court to try and get a win here. Gabby Luchka out here, she pressed triangle. She got the perfect timing user pick to just grab that ball out of the air, said, "Give me that," and win this game for Wayne State.
Yeah, good stuff. And then, of course, how could we forget McKenna Ferguson getting GLIAC Offensive Player of the Week? Very well deserved. Just really good performances from her, and she's just honestly the star on this team. I mean, Taylor Thompson's right there too, but to me, McKenna Ferguson's the thing that she's a player that makes the team operate as you would hope from a point guard. So good, really good stuff.
Yeah, exactly what you said. Really good stuff, and I would argue it's yeah, McKenna's definitely one of those players that does drive it. I think it's that top three effort of Taylor Thompson, McKenna Ferguson, and Gabby Luchka that do drive this thing forward. But this team is also so deep that there are a lot of players that can step up when all three of them aren't necessarily having the best game.
Yeah, no doubt. So good stuff there. Our men's basketball team was also in action. Unfortunately, it gets a little bit sad here for just a couple of minutes. So bear with us, folks. Back on Thursday, number 17 ranked Northern Michigan was in town. Northern Michigan wins that one 82-62. Northern Michigan did not shoot amazing from behind the arc, but when you put up 30 shots from 3-point land, if you shoot 25%, like you score a lot of points there. So I mean, pretty clean game here. Just really fast offense, lots of shots going up. But unfortunately, I don't think that benefits Wayne State. I don't think we play into that very well. And this game is just an example of that. That's not to say that every time a game like this happens, Wayne State gets, beat by 20 points. But in this case, we did. So, I mean, something to keep our eye on as we continue to look at where does this team stack up when it comes to GLIAC play, or especially as we get closer to the GLIAC tournament. But yeah, I mean, that's just, there's a little bit of a powerhouse you got there with the Northern Michigan men's basketball team.
Yeah, and I think part of it also just goes to Wayne State's inability. I shouldn't say inability, but just inconsistent 3-point shooting. In this game, 3 for 13, 23%. Like you said, Michigan Tech made 10 for 30, good for 33%. Between 7 3-pointers, that's a 21-point swing right there between Northern Michigan and Wayne State. So it was a tough one, and I think at this point, Wayne State is what they are. The 3-point ball, maybe in a couple games it'll happen when maybe you least expect it, but this team is definitely built around defense, and at some point, a team is going to be able to shoot over you. That unfortunately was the case here.
Yeah, exactly. But Carlos Paul, player here, 17 points, ends up getting 4 rebounds. And yeah, I mean, even just looking at the rebound numbers here, Sangster, I mean, yeah, I know Northern Michigan hit a lot of shots in this one, but 41-25 on rebounds.
Yeah,
That also does not bode extremely well. 25 second chance points. So just all around, I mean, Northern Michigan showed up in this one. They shot the ball really well. They rebounded very well, and they were able to clean up a lot of their misses. So
yep.
not what you want to see, but very good team coming in here. And then Wayne State gets a chance on Saturday with number 13 ranked Michigan Tech in town. A lot closer game, a little bit more sweaty one coming down towards the end of this, but Michigan Tech wins by a final score of 77-73. Wayne State definitely desperate for a win in this one. Apparently, that sparked something specifically in Marshall Thorne because he, to me, was the player of the game in this one. He's the reason that we were extremely close as he gets 12 points and 11 rebounds. He was not letting Michigan Tech steal any of his rebounds. And all that to be said, we out rebounded Michigan Tech by 10. So, I mean, all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, you turn that around. When you can pull the ball down as much as we did in this game, once again, yeah, your 3 point shooting is not great. You're shooting from the field and free throw line. Free throw line's not good, but from the field, decent. But you were still able to keep yourself in this game because you weren't giving up second chance points left and right to the opposing team. You said, we're taking this. This is our ball. It's our turn to go try to score points.
Yeah, and also this game was interesting because we didn't have any Jordan Briggs in this one. Apparently, he had some kind of foot injury. Not sure what that's going to mean long term for him. Uh, but for the team to score as well as they did without him, and still with not having a great 3 point shooting percentage, you were still able to get the shots off that you could get off pretty well. I think my player of the game here is Jacoby Boos. When he came in, uh, definitely was the spark that the team needed. I think in several points to keep this one close. Uh, as he usually does when he comes into these types of games, he made some unreal shots just to keep Wayne State on the board here, keep this one close. Uh, but Wayne State's downfall here, I think, is the free throw shooting. It was not good, and especially not good at home either.
Yeah, especially when you get there 37 times, you only make 21. You left 16 points sitting right there. I mean,
Yeah, and,
that's
and you lost by 4.
yeah, and you lost before. You did all of the work. You fought hard. You took some fouls. You got banged up a little bit, I'm sure, and then weren't able to cash in on a lot of that. So that really stinks. I mean, I know it's not the first game of the season where free throws we looked at it and we're like, that's a little bit of an issue. But it's another instance where, yeah, that's a little bit of an issue. It's not always good or bad free throw shooting that decides the game. In this case, it absolutely did. I mean,
Yeah.
like, your rebounding helped you out. Your free throws really hurt you. So, bummer to leave the weekend, a home weekend nonetheless. But I mean, two tough teams coming in, but you would like to see a win there. Even without Jordan Briggs, Wayne State was close in that Saturday game, but uh, just didn't happen. So bummer for this team, but a lot more action for them. Again, I mean, this is another team that's we're trying to figure out where do they stack up in the GLIAC. It feels like right around that 5 spot in the tournament, but they still got some work to do to make sure that they get there, if not up to the 4.
Yeah, as of right now, they obviously have not clinched yet. There are still a lot of teams kind of in that logjam of 500, maybe one game above, one game below.
And then you got a note in here saying, sir.
Oh, I totally skipped that.
I was like, wait a minute, we can't not talk about the coolest
Yeah,
part.
but before we get to the big meet, we did see on Instagram that it's the Aralt twins' 21st birthday. So happy birthday! Please ask your dad about Circa. It was our favorite bar back in college. It might have been his. I don't know. Sadly, it's been gone now for a while.
It was yeah, it was probably either that or whatever was around before Tony V's actually Alvin's, I think it was called something like that.
Albies, yep.
Or yeah, whatever that was. So yeah, so
Or it could have
yeah,
been
happy
Bronx.
birthday. Or Bronx, who knows?
Yep.
So yeah, oh, so as you mentioned, Sangster, the next sport, women's track and field, they were in action. They actually had quite a bit of action. A few events that or one event in particular that I ended up missing, which was the WEAC club meet. That was just throwers in that one. So I actually don't have the notes on that one. If I'll take a look in that really quick, Sangster, if you want to look at, as you said, the big meet.
Well, unfortunately, my internet is being. Well, I don't think it's my internet. I think it's Wayne said. There we go.
Yeah, so I guess really quick on this one
There we-
for the actual throws. Weight throw looks like we had a few athletes in action here, highlighted by Edamari King, who's actually a freshman, a local out of Farmington, ended up getting third place in the weight throw. A couple, actually quite a few that we had in action here. Michaela Stewart, Anaya Toboy, Jada Tilton from Chesterfield, and Taylor Morrison, all the way from Texas. So that's a good one there. And then Michaela Stewart was our leader in the shot put. So quite a few, um, yeah, quite a few new names in that one. I haven't really done much of a deep dive into some of the throws when it comes to track and field.
Gotcha. And some other members of the squad were at the Grand Valley Big Meet on Friday, uh, and three of them got NCAA provisional marks. Uh, looks like Avery Wilson had gotten one, but she had a better time earlier in the 400-meter dash. Emily Gordon got one in the 800-meter run, and also there were provisional times made by the 4x400-meter relay team with Kenesha Thomas, Hannah Bastionson, Avery Wilson, and Audrey Hazinga. And also note here, freshman Ava Peters, she posted an all-time top 10 time in the 5K run.
Yeah, that's really good stuff there. So appreciate you looking up that
Yep.
thing. So I kind of missed the notes on the big meet there, but good stuff from our women's track and field team. Our men's tennis team was in action. They actually had quite a bit going on. Back on Friday, they were down in Toledo to take on the Rockets, and Wayne State ends up dropping this one by a final score of 2-5. We were a little bit closer in this one than the final score, as sometimes happens in tennis. But at the doubles point, Toledo was able to get that one just barely, though. I mean, Louis Klaus and Harry Forsyth almost were able to take that down, which would have gotten Wayne State an extra point in there. And then it looks like really only one of the singles matches ended up going to the third set, which Wayne State was actually Sam Knowles was actually able to win that one. So, it was close. I mean, this was really, really close to being a 4-3 win for Toledo, which, and then at that point, you look at some of these scores when it comes to singles events. Who knows what happens? A couple points go the other way, and Wayne State gets it to the third set, and then who knows what happens. But it's very cool to see that the team is performing at the level that they are. So good stuff there. And then rolling into Saturday, the Wayne State men's tennis team was also in action, taking on Findlay. This one was at home at the Duchesne Athletic Facility, and Wayne State wins by a final score of 6-1. We sweep the doubles point, and then we win all of the single matches except for Sam Knowles, actually, which ended up going extra points in the third set. So we were really close to just sweeping this one 7-0 across the board.
Yeah, really good stuff from the men's team here. Definitely a strong start to the season. I think right now they were number 23, so we'll see if that goes up. I don't think Finley entered that one ranked. Where Finley did enter ranked, though, was on the women's tennis side. It was number 16 Finley against number 22 Wayne State. Uh, and unfortunately, Wayne State drops this one in a tough one, 4-3. Uh, First things first, unfortunately, Wayne State did not get the doubles point here. Uh, and looking at the scores between them, the only Wayne State winner was the team of Martina Spakowska and Justine Boilo. Looks 7-6 and into like the extra set that they do for the doubles point. So unfortunately, Wayne State doesn't get the doubles point there. Looking at the singles matches, though, we did have wins from Malik Arafat, uh, Celine Kayakent, Martina Spakowska, uh, and yeah, that was it. Unfortunately, the matches with Justine, that one was in the second set, but it went to like that extra set uh, to tie it off. And then unfortunately, Shintala also goes down in the third set. So definitely Wayne State had opportunities here. Maybe if the doubles point goes your way, or maybe one of these singles matches. Still a hard fought battle between two top 25 teams, though.
Yeah, I was following the stats on this one as it was going on, and I remember it was 3-3, and it came down to I want to say it was Shantala's singles event, and I stopped following at that point because I had something else to do. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, definitely a bummer. Feels like if you play Finley again, these are just two really good teams that are going up against each other, and yeah, like you said, thanks for looking at those doubles points. It was a lot. It was close. I mean, there was one of them that wasn't so close, but the actual two of those doubles matches were very close to going either way. So
Yep.
like you said, your doubles point goes your way. Wayne State probably ends up winning that one. So good stuff there. We get to kind of pick it up a little bit here because we got some good stuff from baseball and softball. Again, feels like spring. We're going to talk baseball. There was a 4-weekend series happening. It was supposed to be in Florence. This ended up getting moved to Cincinnati for reasons that I don't remember. And Wayne State was taking on Tiffin. Back on Friday, Wayne State wins by a final score of 11-1. Big names in here. Bennett Hitzelberger gets three runs, 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and 2 walks. Really good stuff there. And then pitching, Will Lowry, just a couple of strikeouts through 5 innings, but he absolutely shut Tiffin down. I think he only ended up giving up maybe 2 hits through 5 innings, which is very impressive. So good stuff there. Sliding into Saturday, this was a doubleheader. Wayne State wins game number one of that by a final score of 16-5, and then follows it up with a win 9-4. Two names from this day: Owen Tuccinardi with 4 runs, 3 hits, 5 RBIs, and 1 walk, and then Alfredo Velasquez, 2 runs, 3 hits, and 5 RBIs. So newer name there. I don't remember if Alfredo is newer to the team or maybe just we didn't say his name a whole lot last season. I don't recall, but Owen Tuccinardi absolutely recall that. Bennett Hitzelberger as well. And then finally, Sangster on Sunday to close out the 4-game series. Wayne State wins by a final score of 6-1. The name in this one I wanted to make sure to cover was Rhett Roser. 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a walk in this one. So we got some names that I'm really kind of starting to keep my eye on. Very interested to see some of the, like Will Lowry especially. I believe he was a pretty big name for us last season, if I'm not mistaken. And like I said, Bennett as well, and some of the other pitching staff. So there was a lot of stuff going on this last weekend for this baseball team. But I mean, what better start to a season can you write up than 4-0, like 4 straight wins?
Yeah, and not only that, but Wayne State now also has over 1,500 wins in all the history that Wayne State has played baseball. I think going back to 1918 when they uh, started athletics, if not maybe just maybe only a few years after that. So really good stuff from baseball to start out the season. And also looking ahead to the other diamond sport, Wayne State softball was on the mound over the weekend. On Saturday, they had a game against Lincoln Memorial. They had 2 games against Lincoln Memorial. Wayne State ends up winning this one 7-0, and then they also had a game against Bluefield State, which Wayne State also won 10-6. Hunter Neer, definitely player of the game of the day on Saturday. Had an outstanding day. She had 5 hits, 5 runs, 3 RBIs, and a walk-off over both games. So really outstanding stuff. In that walk-off, you could say that Hunter Neer hit the ball pretty far.
Yeah, no, that was really good stuff there. So I saw that you put a thing out on X about that. And I actually did miss that she had a home run in that one, first one of the season actually. So
Yep.
definitely a good thing from her. And then looking over into Sunday, we were supposed to take on Tiffin and then close out the 4-game weekend series against Lincoln Memorial. That got canceled. I'm guessing the weather probably had an outstanding day. I don't really know. Didn't happen.
Yeah, it might have been looking like this outside right now. Who knows?
A little gloomy. So
Yep.
that's what we had over the last week. Lots of good stuff. I mean, the women's basketball team and our baseball team, softball as well. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about softball here to start out the second half of this episode, but definitely an interesting team to keep our eye on. But with that, Sangster, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back to talk about all the same sports. Oh, man. Oh, man. Did you happen to watch Michigan State yesterday?
Uh, I listened a little on the radio.
Mick Cronin. I don't know how to
I
feel
saw
about
that
him.
though. The
Uh,
the what'd you think about the student section? The chanting Booker's name. You think I care about the Michigan State student section? Uh, uh,
I don't know that one that I also saw that. He was like, you make a
I don't
comment
get the
like
question,
that.
but I also don't get the. I, he didn't need to be so smarmy.
Well, that's what I was gonna say is like he was like, you just got the award for the worst question I've ever heard. And then he's like, are you raising
Are
your
you
voice at
raising
me?
your
Like
voice at me?
you're just gonna be a jerk and then be like, hey, are you getting a little heated about this? Like, brother, I will throw my microphone at you. Yeah, I don't know. That irritated me a little bit when I saw that. I was like, settle down, Mick.
Just say next question. That's all you
Yeah,
gotta do.
yeah, don't care. So anyway,
Let's pull up
alrighty.
some WEAC standings.
Yes.
Mm, mm.
What?
I I got the men's one pulled up.
Yeah, looking
It's
a
a
little
little
rough,
scary.
I'm sure. Yeah.
A little scary. It's not rough, but it's a little scary.
The floor is hot.
It is not lava, it is the sun.
That's a hot floor. We got a good weekend coming up, though.
We do.
And in it could not have been timed any better. All right, we'll get there. Women's basketball first. Got the women's one pulled up.
Yeah, the women's one is not entirely correct. Ferris won on Monday, so they're actually 14-2.
Okay. Nice.
Big
And
Sam.
yeah, that's all we need. I don't think really any stats or records for softball and baseball teams are really all that necessary, unless we want to see what did Lewis do in baseball last year. Maybe have that pulled up if you can.
Yep.
Otherwise, I think that'd be good.
And baseball being very, very good week.
Ugh.
Well, they just lost to Saggy on Friday and on Saturday.
Well, that's good. Maybe.
Oh, brother, they are. Last year they were 37-18 and 24-8 in the GLVC.
I had a feeling.
That tonight's going to be a good night.
I got a feeling. Ooh. We got some baseball rankings.
Oh,
We are not
yeah.
even receiving votes.
Yeah, that checks out.
Neither is Lewis. Neither is Saginaw. Cool. Wow, Grand Valley skyrocketed. We're up to 8.
Gross.
Yeah, agreed. Okay.
Let's do it.
And we're back. Starting out, softball currently sitting at 2-0 overall. It is a fantastic way for them to start the season, even if 2 of those games were canceled. And now I think we really get to see just how much of a step forward this team's prepared to take this season. I mean, we've been talking about it a little bit that this team's been, slowly stepping it up after honestly a pretty big drop off after Gary Bryce retired. The team kind of went down, but like they've been slowly working their way back up. And I think this weekend is going to tell us quite a bit about what does this team have to do. So they're heading down to the Lewis Indoor Tournament. This is something as long as we've been doing the podcast, I think we've always been a part of this tournament. It's a really good one. There's a lot of teams there. So you get to go against a lot of different opponents and really see, like I said, what is your team all about? So starting out, this is happening on Thursday. The softball team takes on Concordia St. Paul. And then later on Thursday, they taking on the host team, Lewis. And then on Friday, Minnesota Duluth will be in action against Minnesota Duluth. And last but not least, on Saturday, we got a doubleheader, Quincy, and then followed by Winona State. So some names that we're familiar with at an event that we're familiar with a team that we're hoping can continue to improve themselves as, like I said, a team that's really starting to improve.
Yeah, I'm looking at the venue where they're going to be playing the softball tournament at. It literally is one of those giant bubbles, and there's a softball field inside of it.
Amazing. Just what you love.
If you're around Des Plaines, Iowa, or not Iowa, Illinois, that's where that's going to be at.
Should be a fun one. So hopefully the balloon doesn't
pop,
deflate.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the Silver Dome.
Yeah, honestly. So good stuff. Good luck to our softball team. Baseball will also be in action, saying so. We're currently sitting at 4-0 overall. And as I already mentioned, you could not have drawn up a better first weekend for this team. Go out there, get 4 straight wins, continue on here into week number 2. This will be a weekend series taking on Lewis, but this will be happening in Millington, Tennessee, which is just north of Memphis. I don't know why it's happening in Millington, Tennessee, but it is. Probably because Lewis doesn't have their home facility. But I'm guessing there's some tournament or something going on that just, a bunch of people get to go to an indoor facility or warm.
Also, it might be a little cold in Lewis. They might not have an indoor baseball field.
That's a fair point. So as per usual, 4-game weekend series is a Friday game, a doubleheader on Saturday, and a game on Sunday. And it sounds like Sangster Lewis is generally a pretty good team. At least they were last season.
Yeah, last season they were 37-18 and 24-8 in the GLVC. So really solid squad that Wayne still be going against two teams that are uh, pretty good within the Midwest region.
No doubt. So good luck to our baseball team as well. Hoping we can just keep that rolling, get us 8 straight wins, and build up that win count.
For sure. Looking ahead to basketball, it is the last road weekend of the regular season. Women's basketball is 18-6 and 13-3 in the GLIAC. Apparently, that's still not good enough to be ranked, just receiving votes. And yeah, that Wayne State's awesome because they have I think they're up to 4 ranked wins now. Unfortunately, there just aren't a lot of teams that are in the top 25 that have, less than, or I'm sorry, more than 6 losses. There's right now only one. I think it's the number 25 team. And of course, I just closed out the tab that I had open for this one. So still a bummer. Wayne State's not ranked in the top 25. It is what it is. At the end of the day, that top 25 doesn't really matter because what's going to matter later on is going to be the Midwest regional seeding. If you look right now, Wayne State is slotted in. I think they were the third or the fourth seed, according to Inkblot Sports. Again, really recommend subscribing to Inkblot. I think they're only like $3 a month on Patreon if you're really dialed into D2 bracketology. So, again, Wayne State still, yeah, you'd like to be the top 25, but it doesn't matter because right now you have a handle your business type of weekend coming up. On Thursday, Wayne State will be playing Roosevelt in Chicago. Uh, right now, Roosevelt comes in with a 7-16 record and 6-10 in the GLIAC. Uh, really not much to say. You handled them last time around at Wayne State. This one that could be interesting, though, is another away game at Parkside on Saturday. Parkside comes in with a
Yeah, they're 12-12 overall, 7-9
yeah,
in conference.
yep. So again, it's one of those teams that Wayne State has kind of always had an issue with Parkside, and so I expect Wayne State to come out with a weekend sweep here. Would I be shocked if they didn't? No, sometimes teams just play you a certain way, but I really, really would like to see a full weekend sweep here from Wayne State.
Yeah, it feels like I mean this team. If there's a team that we're going to be talking about, they should be feeling really good about themselves and feel like they could step onto the court and go win in any game, and that they should be able to do that. It's this women's basketball team. I mean, like I said, they're on I believe, a 4-game win streak right now.
Yes,
Because it's at least it's if
might be more.
maybe 5. Yeah, so this feels like that team, and like you said, this is a handle your business weekend, and we were kind of talking a little bit about some of the standings here that this team is currently a 3 in the GLIAC, within reaching distance of number 2 seed to be able to get over Ferris State, which would be fantastic to get to. But none of that happens if we don't sweep this. I feel like if you don't sweep this weekend, that kind of does that in. So that is not a situation that we want to be in because I think this team absolutely deserves to be up towards the top when it comes to some of these rankings.
Yeah, and we'll certainly see what ends up happening this week. Like we were saying, Ferris State right now is 14-2. Grand Valley is still 15-1. Wayne State 13-3. Northern Michigan, now we drop them down to 12-4. That's your top 4 right now. Then you've got Michigan Tech, Parkside, Roosevelt, and Davenport rounding out the bottom 4. Wayne State, for whatever it's worth, has clinched a spot in the GLIAC tournament. Not clinched yet as far as home court for the first round goes. Right now, Grand Valley and Ferris are the only ones that are guaranteed a home spot in the first round of the GLIAC tournament.
Yeah, it seems like one win this weekend would basically do that. So, but again, I mean, just this should be the 2 seed. I mean, I honestly, if I'm going to argue on it, I feel like this team could be the 1 seed. Seeing how we've played Grand Valley, the fact that we split with them, I feel like you could make an argument that we're as good, if not better, than Grand Valley. But that's not the way the rankings work. So that's what we got going on for the Wayne State women's basketball team. When we look at the Wayne State men's basketball team, Sangster, we're in very familiar territory, which is 11-11 and 8-8, sitting right at that 500 mark. And boy, we need to forget last weekend and get ready to take care of business because, last time we talked, we mentioned that this Wayne State men's basketball team before last weekend could have really solidified themselves in the top four, created a little bit of a barrier. They didn't really drop much in the standings, but that floor is hot right now. I mean, you got 8 teams that are basically within, I'm sorry, you have 5 teams that are within a game of each other. And Wayne State's right in the middle of that at this point. So this weekend, thankfully, could not have come at a better time. The only thing that would make it better is if this was happening at the field house, but it's not. So the Wayne State men's basketball team gets to head to Roosevelt, who's at 4-19 overall, 3-13 in conference play, and then follow that up at Parkside, who's at 10-13 overall and 5-11. And yes, those are teams that are basically at the bottom of the GLIAC standings, and they're not really playing for a, they're playing for an outside chance right now to be able to get that 8 seed, and that's about it. But they're still playing for it, and Wayne State's playing to not be that 8 seed basically. So it's an interesting spot this team is in right now.
Yeah, right now the team most looking to do that is Parkside again. They're 5-11. The next spot up is Ferris State, who is 7-9, tied with Purdue Northwest and Davenport. So yeah, there's a lot of room still here in the GLIAC seating once you're outside of that top three. And right now, Lake Superior State, who Wayne will be playing uh, next week, they're making a big push right now too. Didn't really start the year that great, but they have been on fire recently. They just won three in a row to prop them ahead of Wayne State, who unfortunately dropped the last 2 games.
Yeah, so definitely not timely losses. But again, I mean, we're talking about a team that next time we talk, they could be comfortably the 4 seed. You know, again, there's still going to be more a couple more games we're going to have to talk about, but it's not doom and gloom for this team. It's just it's a little uneasy right now. You know, much like when the Wayne State women's basketball team was playing Grand Valley, and your heart starts beating, your palms are like sweating, and you're like, I
Yeah.
can't get close enough to the court. That's kind of what this is starting to feel like a little bit. So
Yep.
very, very much a go handle your business because you kind of have to in this situation. Otherwise, we get into a situation that's, you know, this is not a team that should be the 8 seed. I mean, there's a lot of talent on this team. We've seen what they're able to do when they're playing at their best, and they're going to need that this weekend. They're just going to need to go and get 2 wins, get a little bit of room.
For sure. And again, definitely looking for. I'm not going to say that this weekend is kind of a business trip compared to the women's team. You know, you're a lot closer to these teams that you're going to be facing right here, but it's definitely a time where you're looking to still beat teams that record wise you should beat. And if you do so, it's going to help the ending of your season immensely.
Yep, exactly. So, yeah, I don't really have a whole lot on like who like Superior State and all of them are playing, but all of those teams that we're tied with, they're also going to be in action. So what
Yep.
they do also has impact on Wayne State, but it only really has a ton of impact, to benefit Wayne State if we win. That's
Right.
that's kind of where it starts. So
Yep.
yeah, that's what we got there. Women's track and field will also be in action. We got a couple events here. The SVSU tune-up is happening on Friday. Again, an event that we're always generally part of. But then also the Michigan Silverstone Invitational. And this is being hosted by the University of Michigan. I don't know the breakout as far as who from the team is going to be at which event, but they're both happening on the same day. So I'm sure there's something going on at the Michigan Silverstone Invitational that we want to send some of our athletes to. So good luck to both of our to our track and field team as they head out to both of those events.
For sure. And also, the men's tennis team will be in action. Women's tennis is off this week. Men's tennis is 2-1 right now. No conference play has started yet. And they will be out in the capital of West Virginia, Charleston, for 2 matches. On Friday, they'll be facing Fairmont State. And on Saturday, they'll be facing Charleston from Charleston in West Virginia.
Yeah, so very interested to see what the men's tennis team is able to do. I mean, again, sitting at 2-1, and one of those losses, I believe they count the Toledo loss, if I'm not mistaken. But that's a D1. So regardless, I mean, they're looking like a very good team, well coached. Got some really, really good athletes on that team. Interested to see what happens there. And last but not least, Sangster, the fencing teams will be in action. The Central Collegiate Fencing Championships will be happening in Granville, Ohio. This is hosted by Denison. I believe Denison is about half hour east of Columbus, if I'm not mistaken. So what's cool about the CCFC is that it kind of rotates who's able to host it, I guess, as long as you have a facility, which I think most colleges would have a facility to be able to host fencing. But I know like Wayne State was able to host at least NCAA regionals. I don't recall if we've hosted CCFC at the field house yet. I could be wrong on that, but if not, we'll be doing it soon. So that's what's going to be happening on, I believe, Saturday and Sunday, and it is basically everybody in the region. So we got Ohio State, Detroit Mercy, Denison, Cleveland State, Wayne State, and Lawrence, I believe, are all of the teams. There's a couple
Yep,
more.
it's Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And then Northwestern, I believe, is also part of this. So a handful of
Yep.
teams we're very familiar with. Interested to see what our teams are able to do. It's kind of cool. There's a Google sheet actually put out here if you want to look at what all of the matches are and eventually what the layout will be of everything. It's kind of cool. So, um,
Exciting stuff. It
yeah,
kind of feels like fencing just started, just because of how odd it is, because there's only a few events, and then you got some guys and ladies out, on the other side of the world competing in their own individual events. So
yeah, it's definitely it moves it moves quick, but the scheduling and all of that is, I'd say, the wonkiest for us to follow, just to be like,
yeah,
oh, the El Sayed was in Ghana last week, so it's just like that. That's such a regular thing. So yeah, it definitely throws a
and,
curveball once in a while.
and if it's annoying for us, imagine how Jeff feels.
Oh yeah, yeah, they got to go out. Yeah, no kidding. So, but that's what we got, Sakes. So really good stuff. Good luck to our fencing team as they go for a championship, or some good individual performances. We know we'll be talking about a couple of the big names next week, and then yeah, outside of that, like I said, that basketball. This is a very very big weekend for both of our teams. So,
Yep.
with all of that, that's what we got, and appreciate everybody joining us on episode 121 of the Warrior House podcast.
And remember, it's always a great day to be a Wayne State